The Warriors-Timberwolves Game 2 matchup turned into a perfect storm of problems for Golden State, starting with their superstar Steph Curry watching from the sidelines in street clothes. Without their offensive catalyst, the Warriors looked completely lost as Minnesota seized control early and never looked back. Not exactly what Warriors fans were hoping for. And speaking of fashion choices, Draymond Green was modeling his signature move, the flailing arms dance with Naz Reid. The T-Wolves came out hungry, like they'd missed breakfast and lunch, absolutely dominating from the start. And then we had the Anthony Edwards ankle scare moment that had Minnesota fans holding their breath longer than I did during my first TV appearance. The Timberwolves, clearly motivated after their embarrassing Game 1 performance, came out swinging behind Julius Randle's hot start. They built a commanding 14-point lead after the first quarter, setting the tone for what would become a dominant wire-to-wire victory. The Warriors' offense, typically a well-oiled machine, sputtered and stalled without Curry's gravity and playmaking. But folks, the real drama came when Draymond Green had what we'll call an interesting evening. Not only did he rack up his 5th technical foul, he's now playing how close can I get to a suspension, but he also had an unfortunate incident with a fan that led to an ejection.
Man, I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful, educated black man with a great family. And I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
As for the Warriors playing without Steph, well, let's just say they're about as likely as me giving up my morning coffee. Not impossible, but highly improbable. Now, let's talk numbers. When Steph plays, Warriors are cooking with 116 points per 96 possessions. Without him, that drops to 93. That's not just a drop, folks. That's a cliff dive without a parachute. Steve Kerr was so desperate, he played 14 players in the first half. That's not a rotation. That's a whole volleyball tournament. Speaking of desperate measures, how about Jonathan Kuminga, suddenly turning into a human highlight reel, with 8 straight buckets? Talk about finding a silver lining. But the real drama, Draymond Green's eventful night. First, we had the Naz Reid incident. Classic Draymond, arms flying like he's directing airport traffic. Then, while he's doing his Tour de France impression on a stationary bike, there's an incident with a fan that led to an ejection. Add in his powerful post-game comments about being portrayed as an angry black man, and we've got ourselves more storylines than a Netflix series. The final score reflects the T-Wolves leveling the series, a pivotal moment in these playoffs. Anthony Edwards appears stable despite a recent ankle scare, much to the relief of fans and analysts alike. Meanwhile, Steph Curry's status looms large, an inquiry that... Let's break down the player performances from last night's Timberwolves vs Warriors showdown in delicious detail. Julius Randle, star of the night. He poured in 24 points and dropped 11 assists, showcasing not just his scoring ability, but also his vision. Anthony Edwards, the young gun, finished with 20 points. After a brief injury scare, he bounced back like it was just a light jog in the park. Edwards showed no signs of hesitation. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, also contributing 20 points, he was instrumental off the bench. Like a superhero emerging from the shadows, he was crucial in extending the Timberwolves' lead. Dante DiVincenzo and Naz Reid, these two joined in the fun, combining for a solid performance from the three-point line. The bench brigade really stepped up. Think of it as the bench mob taking charge in a blockbuster movie. As for the Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga, star. The young star proved to be a bright spot, with 18 points on an impressive 14 for 17 shooting combo. He's like that new toy after Christmas that everyone wants to play with. Trace Jackson-Davis, star. Coming off the bench, he scored 15 points and provided some much-needed spark. He was hustling on both ends of the floor. Draymond Green. He had a classic Draymond performance, contributing on defense, but his 5th technical foul of the playoffs stood out like a flashing neon sign. He's 1 tech away from a suspension. He needs to keep his elbows to himself and play smart. Buddy Hield and Brandon Podziemski. Unfortunately for the Warriors, these two shooters were held quiet by the Timberwolves' defense. With Curry out, They couldn't find their rhythm. It was like the microwave just wouldn't start. So, what do the Warriors need to do for the next game? Well, first of all, they need to figure out how to score more than 15 points in a quarter. Maybe they should try shooting from the locker room. And they definitely need to stop focusing their game plan on just passing it to Steph, because, spoiler alert, he's not available. They might want to look into revamping their offense, or give Jimmy Butler a finder's fee for his friendly advice on not starting off in a hole. Keep it light, experiment with that lineup, and maybe consider channeling some of that back gym energy from the off-season. Let's see if they can bounce back in Game 3, folks.